here, everybody. Welcome back, one and all, to another hobby vlog. And as you can see, the Black Legion has rolled up to the gates of SorcererDave HQ. They are here. They are here in all their glorious, chaosy glory. Oh, so cool, so cool. I like it a lot. So I thought about doing an unboxing, like I said I would last time, but then I realised swiftly as I was getting it open that trying to unbox fragile miniatures with only one hand was a bad idea, which is why a couple of these are broken, because I broke them getting them out of the case. But they're here. So, got these secondhand on eBay, as I explained last time. These Black Legion, to bolster the existing Black Legion guys I made in order to get the whole Black Legion project underway a lot faster. And I'm really happy with these guys, actually. For one thing, it's going to require a bit of work to sort of bring them up to code, so to speak. I'm going to have to crack out the basic standards. I want them all on 32mm bases. Currently they're on 25s. And I may repaint the bases as well to match the other guys. So that's the thing. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. We'll see. I might do the opposite, paint the other guys to match these. I don't know yet, but yeah. Regardless, though, they look really good. And also, actually, one thing I'm delighted about is that they already have the kind of satin varnish finish that my other guys have. So I don't need to go and varnish the whole lot of them. That's already been done. So that's good. That's very nice. So as you can see, they're all old school Chaos Marines. They're not the new ones. But there are some absolutely awesome conversions in here. Like that champion guy there, loving it, loving him. The whole vibe of this army is really cool. This is why I really liked them when I saw them. The whole look of them just totally reminds me of the artwork in that old 3rd edition codex. Super, super grim, dark and horrible. Chaosy as hell. A couple of characters at the front. We got a couple of, well, Chaos Lords, I guess, although you could probably use them with plenty of stuff. We have this guy, who looks like he's kind of rocking out really hard right now. And then this interesting fellow, who is obviously a Chaos Lord originally, this miniature. I think I even had this guy back in the day. But you could feasibly, probably these days, use him as a Master of Executions, now that I think about it. He's got the axe. He has this interesting paint job with red trim instead of gold, like all of his mates, which would make, I don't know, there's something about that, like marks him out from the others. Would make him quite an interesting choice for a Master of Executions. As denoted by the fact that his armor's a bit different from everyone else. Could be interesting. Got some melee Chaos Marines with the chainswords. I love this champion, by the way, up on his rock there. Something about the whole pose for that just really works. He looks really cool. More chainsword guys. One thing I will probably do is repaint all the top knots to be red to match the other guys, and I think that just looks good. Red top knots. I mean, this guy's got a red top knot, so. We have some possessed over here. These guys are really awesome. The back two could even be used as spawn, actually, probably. In fact, I think they might be old spawn models. But I really quite like these dudes. They've got a lot of character. They're different from your average possessed, that's for sure. I particularly like this gentleman here, Conan the Barbarian possessed, with his Atlantean sword. Conan, grant me one request. Grant me revenge. And if you do not listen, then to hell with you. Yeah. Big fan of these guys. They look very cool. Little group of possessed. I wasn't sure if I was going to include possessed in the Black Legion army. I guess I am now, because these guys look really awesome. I am a big fan. I'm an old Hammer guy in general, but these are just really quite cool. I like them. What else we got? A couple of obliterators at the back. Very nice. They're practically a must-have in Chaos armies these days. Most Chaos armies, anyway. I actually have a third metal obliterator like them that's been sat in my bits box for ages, so I'll add that to this, get him painted up, and that'll make a unit of 3. Should be good. Big blob of Chaos Marines. A couple of melt guns in there, I think. Rest of them bolt guns, including that awesome looking champion. Very nice. 3 flavors of Havocs / heavy weapons marines. We got missile launchers at the back. We got heavy bolters and 4 las cannon dudes, who definitely could be used as a Havoc squad if I gave them a champion. Excellent. Metal las cannons, I believe, glued onto the plastic base marines, which is nice. Chaos las cannons are difficult to get your hands on, so. And last but not least, we have this Land Raider, which I need to bring over here because you guys need to see this thing. This thing is wonderful. I love this. Let me show you this. So, as you can see, it's covered in spikes, which is exactly what I planned to do for a Chaos Land Raider with a Black Legion. Cover the bloody thing in spikes, but it's got more than just spikes. Look, it's got bells on, literally. Like, you've got all sorts of weird warp stuff going on. You've got, like, glowing skulls coming out of the metalwork. Oh, man, it's so cool. And you've got, like, these 2 guys on the top who have sort of merged and become one with the machine. There's, like, sort of weird servitor chaos zombie things, which is marvellous. You've got this thing here with, like, a severed half of a blood angel hanging in the middle of it. And this pops out here, so it travels in the case much easier, which is a nice little touch. Frankly, I think my word bearers are going to be a bit jealous of this Land Raider, to tell you the truth. maybe the Black Legion stole it from the word bearers. Maybe that's why this thing is so extra, because they actually nicked it. Or a warband of word bearers that joined the Black Legion brought this with them. Oh, that could be an interesting narrative. It would mean my word bearers and these Black Legion guys wouldn't necessarily get on very well. That'd be good battle report fodder, for sure. Oh, there you go, you got hands and stuff coming out of the side of the thing. It's like there's a bit in the first Black Legion novel, The Talon of Horus, by Aaron Dembski-Bowden, when they describe what it's like going aboard the Vengeful Spirit, Abaddon's flagship, for the first time, and all the supremely weird stuff they see inside of it that is just like this. Oh, it's super chaosy. And this at the back, I like this. Now this guy, I'm sure, was probably supposed to be an Ultramarine when he was painted, but I tell you what, he doesn't half look suspiciously like a certain Space Marine chapter owned by Mr. Winter's SEO. And look, he's been nailed to the back of this thing and is clearly being kept alive in eternal torment by some sort of foul magics. Oh, it's so good. I love it. Yeah, this Land Raider alone is just absolutely epic. I love it. Does this actually detach? It does, sort of. I don't know if that's broken or if it's like that way by design. I'll find out later. But yes, this rotates. I know that much. But yes, Black Legion Chaos Land Raider, super chaosy Chaos Land Raider. I love it. It's got bullet marks in it and stuff as well. It's great. So there you go, folks. The Black Legion off to a good start. So we got all of this plus the 15 or so Chaos Marines I did do, plus the bikes that I did as well. Which will bring us up to not as big as I want them to be, but big enough to definitely film a few bat wraps with, that's for sure. So that's excellent. As I said, a bit of work required. Base extenders are the big thing. Possible rebasing as well. Not really rebasing, but repainting the bases, for sure. I'm thinking of actually redoing these guys and my older ones as well that I already did, both so that their bases match the Word Bearers ones. And the main reason for that is they'll match the Word Bearer ones, and they'll match the Iron Warrior ones, and they'll match the Demon ones. Which means that if I decide to do a big rumble with Chaos versus Imperium or something, and I feel the Black Legion, the Word Bearers, and the Iron Warriors all at the same time with demons, they'll all look nice and cohesive and like they're supposed to be on the table together. So I am actually thinking of just giving them those slightly arid brown bases like the Word Bearers have. But I haven't totally made a decision just yet. We'll see about that, but still. I also need to get more characters. I'm kind of liking the theme of there being a very old Hammer army, really, to tell you the truth. So I might hunt down some more metal characters from back in the day. I quite fancy the old metal sorcerer with a sword. The one who looks like the sorcerer from Dawn of War, that guy. I quite fancy getting that, so that might be my sorcerer for this army. Some Terminator characters wouldn't go amiss either. I think I've got some nice spare Terminator bits somewhere, and actually, for that matter, I've got a couple of boxes of the new Chaos Terminators that I can certainly add to all this as well. I do like the fact that they're on these elevated scenic bases as well, so it means that when they are stood next to the newer true scale guys, they won't look too weird. They won't look noticeably shorter than them, I don't think. So that's really good as well. Yeah, overall, very, 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 very happy. Now, obviously, they're not painted to like your crazy Den of Imagination sort of commissioned studio standard. They're clearly painted by an enthusiastic bloke who just collected them to play with them like I do with mine. But the nice thing about that, honestly, is that they are painted to a standard that I can match. As in, I can add more stuff to this army and it won't look out of place. I really struggle with my Eldar because my Craftworld Eldar are so pretty. They were painted by such a talented guy that adding more units to that army is really tough because I feel like I have to match the quality and I'm not quite good enough to do it. Same issue with those Space Wolves I showed you last time as well, actually. They're so beautifully painted that it's really tough to add new units to that army because I'm just not that good a painter. So these guys, on the other hand, though, not only do they already look like they'll fit in perfectly with the ones I've already done, they're also done to the same sort of standard I can manage, so I'll be able to add stuff to this army and it won't look too jarring, basically. Although this vehicle's so good. This Land Raider is so freaking good. I could stare at this thing all day and keep noticing new details. This thing was a labour of love, I can already tell. Like, my goodness me. What a gorgeously converted vehicle. This is chaos. This is so chaos to me. Crazy, weird, glowy bits, hands and heads coming out of the metal, still living dudes strapped to it in torment, bells, sort of half-dead servitor guys that have merged with the machine itself. Oh, man. This thing probably doesn't have a crew anymore. It just has, like, guys like this who have been sort of fused into their seats and moulded with the machine in warp space. You know, and you can get in this transport for sure, but at your own peril. Like, you know, some of the guys who enter this thing probably don't ever come out again because the machine probably eats them. It's good. This is so good. This is so freaking good. I'm so happy with it. So yeah. It's making my Word Bearer's Land Raider feel completely and utterly inadequate. It really is. So yeah. I've got all of this now, plus the guys I showed you a few Hobby Vlog episodes ago. I also actually have a couple of Chaos Rhinos, currently painted slightly badly as World Eater ones, but I can repaint those as Black Legion ones, no problem, and they're very spiky, a bit like this, so they'll fit in perfectly as well. So it'll be a Land Raider, a couple of Rhinos, all of this, bikes, even more Chaos Marines. And then we can start getting to the fun stuff. Basically, what this has done, this has got all the boring stuff out of the way. The Chaos Marine troops choices are done. Like, they're just done now, and the Havocs as well. I don't need to worry about that now. You know, I can move on to fun stuff. So I can add things now like Khorne Berserkers and Plague Marines and Rubrics and Noise Marines and a couple of Hellbrutes probably. You know, stuff like that. Maybe another Defiler. I could do with a Defiler for this lot, actually. That'd be nice. You know, stuff like that. And, of course, the old school metal Chaos Space Marines Demon Prince, the one that's based on the Karl Kopinski artwork. I have that somewhere as well. I can't remember if I showed you it in a previous episode. He's in bits in a bag at the moment, so there's not much to see. But he will fit like a glove in with this particular army. Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Oh, yes. Oh, good. Oh, this is going to be so good. Oh, it's going to be really, really expand what I can do in terms of solo Warhammer narrative games and stuff as well. Having an extra Chaos army in the ring, that's going to help big time. Because I had my Iron Warriors, but really they're just like about 10 guys and a Typhon. They're not really an army, but this is an army. This is good. This works. So, yeah. Because you know what? One of my favourite things in 40k is actually Chaos versus Chaos battles. There is something glorious about watching the heretics bash each other to death for the glory of the Dark Gods. And now I can actually do that. We can have some Word Bearers versus Black Legion. The Old Order versus the New Order. Vying for the right to be considered the champions of Chaos Undivided. Oh yeah, there's a fun narrative in that for sure. Oh man, I'm excited. I'm excited, guys. This is gonna be fun. A couple of bonus bits actually came with this too. I almost forgot to mention. One is this fun thing. This is one of the old Forge World busts, Chaos Marine bust. Has been rather lovely. Well, rather wonderfully painted, really. So that's going to go on the shelf with me Vault Boy bobblehead and other knickknacks. So that's a nice little bonus. And also this dude. This is the old Nurgle Great Unclean one. The one that came before the current big plastic fatty. Still a pretty amazing sculpt, if I'm honest, actually. So this guy, I can definitely see being used as a Demon Prince of Nurgle. Absolutely. I don't know if I'll take him off the square base or not. It depends on how easy or difficult that may or may not be. But this thing's great. So yeah, he could very easily be a Demon Prince of Nurgle. That's probably what I'll use him as. Yeah. Very cool. So that's an extra little bonus bit. I have a bunch more Nurgle Demon stuff to work on anyway, because I'm slowly kind of trying to make Nurgle Demons into a big army in their own right at the moment. So this guy will fit in lovely with them as well. So right. So yeah, got a couple of breakages to fix here and there, obviously, and a few extra bits of work to do as well, as I already mentioned. But ladies and gentlemen, the Black Legion. They're finally here and ready to start burning and pillaging and killing and maiming and burning in the name of the Dark Gods, and I can't wait. But wait, there's more. So this is actually what I was originally going to start today's video with before the Black Legion arrived in the post today, and then the plans changed immediately. But I'm still working. It'll possibly be a little while before I get to the Black Legion over there. I need to order more base extendeds anyway, so there'll be a bit of a wait regardless. But in the meantime, I am working on more of the Revenants, as you can see. I have got 10 tactical marines that I've had sat around in my box for ages unpainted. They're all primed up. I threw in a few intercessors as well that I just had again in the box, and I thought I might as well throw them in. There's space on the plank for them here. This Ironclad Dreadnought that I've had again sitting around for freaking ages. He's going to get painted up. I actually managed to leave it so his arms can still move, so I can change his pose if I want to, which is fun. So yeah, another Dreadnought to add to the ranks of the Revenants. They do like their Dreadnoughts after all, so... we also have a Rhino. That's going to be painted up along with the rest of it. I'm going to do all of this as a batch paint job, really, essentially. I'm going to paint all of them at the same time, one colour at a time, and it'll probably take a little while, and I'll probably hate it by the end, but it will mean they get done a lot faster. And last but not least, we have a new Lieutenant. This is based on the made-to-order Lieutenant Amulius they did earlier last year, back in the spring. I finally got around to building him, and I can't leave a model untouched completely, so he has a different head with this very sharp haircut. I'm trying to think what he reminds me of. Kind of looks like the guy from... I don't remember the movie Small Soldiers. He kind of reminds me of the sergeant guy in charge of the baddie soldiers in that. But anyway, and he's pointing his sword at something instead of having it rest by his side as well. I moved the position of the arm. He looks pretty good, actually. To tell you the truth, the intention was a lieutenant, but honestly, like, that's captain material, really, isn't he? I mean, look at him. That is either a very well decked out, very experienced lieutenant or a captain. He doesn't have the cloak that my captains traditionally have, but still. Either way, though, he'll be getting painted up as well. I already really like this guy, though. I think this is already now going to be my favourite lieutenant in the army. I have more than a few, so... Anyway, yeah. So these guys I'm going to be making a start on hopefully today. An emphasis on making a start on, though, because they're going to take a while to get through all these. But it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. I have a plan, you see. There's a reason I'm doing these extra tactical marines. Because I have an idea for a... It won't be the first game you see them in, but I have an idea for a future one. Because someone said in the comments they wouldn't mind seeing an Imperium versus Imperium game. Now, I generally don't like doing Imperium versus Imperium games for two reasons. One is I used to have to do them all the time when I still played games at a local shop, because everyone collects Imperium armies, so you're constantly doing Imperium versus Imperium all the bloody time. It reminds me of the bad old days, so I don't like doing it for that reason. But also I don't like doing it because narratively, Imperium fighting Imperium doesn't happen terribly often. And when it does happen, it usually tends to be a really big deal, like the Badab War or the Reign of Blood and stuff like that. So I don't generally want to do Imperium versus Imperium as much as I possibly can. However, I did have an idea, which was the Reign of Blood. And the Reign of Blood in 40k was when the Imperium had a really massive civil war because, what's his name? Gog Vandire, I think. He was the ecclesiarch, so the head of the Imperial Church, and he became, basically through a big power grab on his part, he became sort of de facto ruler of the Imperium for a little while. And he is the guy who's responsible for the Sisters of Battle existing, because he essentially recruited an order of warrior women from this backwater world, and he turned them into a huge army of power-armoured religious fanatics. And that's how the Sisters of Battle originally came to be. You know, they were kind of pardoned after the whole thing was over and Gog Vandire was dead, and that's why they're still around. But they emerged as a result of the Reign of Blood, and I thought, all right, if I'm going to do an Imperium versus Imperium report, because someone has requested it, so I might as well. Let's make it something a bit interesting and special. So what my idea is I'm going to do a battle report where we go back in time a bit. We go back to like the 36th millennium or whatever it was when it happened. I can't remember the timeline, honestly. And we do a battle from the Reign of Blood. So no Primaris, just the Firstborn guys. And it'll be the Revenants fighting on the side of Sebastian Thor against my Sisters of Battle fighting on the side of Gog Vandire. We can try and hopefully make it kind of really quite epic. They could be having a battle on the moon or something, as in Luna, as in our moon, the moon around Earth, as the Thorite armies close in on Terra in the closing days of the battle. It could be interesting, because someone else mentioned actually that it'd be fun to do a moonscape battle where you have special rules for the fact that you're fighting in low gravity and in a vacuum and stuff. So that could also be really interesting as well, actually. Like, you could do something really fun. I've been thinking about it. You could do something fun like all infantry units count as fly. They have the fly keyword because of the low gravity, and everyone's able to jump around everywhere and stuff like that. I think there's also like some of the rules in the open war cards for like planets with really thin atmospheres, or stuff like that as well. Like there's some fun stuff you could play around with there. So we could have a battle from the Reign of Blood being fought on Luna between Gog Vandire's Sisters of Battle and Thor's Space Marines. Well, you know, the armies of Sebastian Thor, which in this case would be represented by the Revenants. But in order for that to work, I do need to actually paint up more Firstborn Tactical Marines, because I don't have enough at the moment as it is. So that's one of the biggest reasons I'm painting up a bunch of these guys right now. So there you go. Yeah. So I don't know. Is that a good idea? I mean, you'll have to suspend your disbelief a little bit, because it won't be totally lore accurate. For one thing, my Sisters of Battle, I'm not going to repaint them all in black and white. just to make them historically accurate for our pretend battle, because I believe the Brides of the Emperor, as they were called at the time, rather than the Sisters of Battle, they did wear black armor with white robes or something like that, I think, was their original colours. And obviously mine are painted quite totally differently. And yeah, so you'll just have to willingly suspend your disbelief a little bit with it when it comes to stuff like that. You know, like my Canoness models, you know, you're going to have to pretend they're totally different Canonesses and not the ones you would normally see in the 40k battles, because obviously they're not going to be able to live that long. So, but, you know, it's a bit of suspension of disbelief, but I think it could be really fun, honestly. If I'm going to do Imperium versus Imperium, I want to do it as part of something like the Reign of Blood or the Badab War, honestly. What Games Workshop should really do, honestly, in the new timeline, I say the new timeline as if it's an alternate reality, it's not, but in the new extension of the timeline, we could really do with another Badab War type thing. Because back in the days before the big 8th edition shakeup, the useful thing about the Badab War and the Reign of Blood was it did give you an excuse to do Imperium versus Imperium games. What I think that Games Workshop should do is create a new thing a bit like that, a new internal Imperial conflict like that, which would allow people to do Imperium versus Imperium games involving the new stuff, like Primaris Marines, for example. So, yeah, that's a thing I think they should do, honestly. That's something Games Workshop should bloody well do. But yes, right, okay, so I'm going to go crack on with these. I'll see you in a bit. Alright, it must be like a week or so since the last bit of this video. As you can see, progress has been made, for sure. It's taken a bloody while though. It's nearly 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm about to go to bed. I've just finished painting the yellow bits on all these guys. It was very boring. It was very, very boring, but whatever. I got through it. And some of you will be aware by the time this goes up that I have been doing some painting streams as well. Actually, I was sent a link by a Patreon subscriber to there's a hair there. Go away, hair. I was sent a link to an app for my phone called DroidCam, which allows me to stream video directly from my phone into OBS on the computer, and then obviously stream that directly to Twitch. And it has basically allowed me, alongside my handy dandy tripod, to do some painting streams on Twitch, where I've been painting these guys. So that's a thing. I do those every other night at the moment on Twitch, and you're welcome to come along. People seem to really enjoy them. Loads of people have tuned in, actually. I think I had like 96 people watching me at one point, which is ridiculous. For painting a bunch of toy soldiers, I couldn't believe how many people were watching, so that was cool. I am talking a bit quietly right now, by the way, because as I said, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. But I needed to get these guys done. I needed to get the yellow bits done. Yes, so they're getting there. They're soon. I'll be doing the basing and then weathering and stuff like that. We're getting there. The Rhino's looking okay. Couldn't figure out how to do this for a while, and then I discovered some masking tape downstairs, and I used that to mask off these bits to paint stripes on it. It wasn't perfect, it's a bit rough around the edges slightly, but it looks close enough to being stenciled on that I'm happy with it. Although this is a repaint of an old Black Templar Rhino I used to have, and it's fine. It just had sort of a coat of black primer on it, and then a few other bits that I was able to prime straight over. However, I have noticed if you hold it under a certain light, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, you probably should be able to, there is the remains of a very badly painted, well, not very badly, but somewhat badly painted Templar cross with very thick white paint, and I hoped, incorrectly, that would disappear with enough primer over the top of it. So that bothers me a little bit, but luckily from about this far away it's totally invisible on the camera, so it doesn't matter. In fact, it's totally invisible to the naked eye, actually, from that far away. So, yeah, whatever. So that does bother me a little bit, but whatever. I can live with it. It's fine. It'll be interesting having to try and dry brush around that, actually, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, so Rhino, Marines, Dreadnought. Dreadnought's looking alright now, actually. This guy wasn't looking quite right for a long time, but as soon as I painted the bits around his frag launchers gold, he just suddenly popped. For some reason, he started to look really good. So that's the Ironclad Dreadnought on the way, along with the rest of yous, including the Lieutenant, who I'm really liking. He's still very much in progress, but yeah, I'm liking him a lot. I think he might be shooting up to one of my favourite lieutenants in the army pretty soon, I reckon. Anyway. So yeah, I like the Sergeant as well. With the tabard and the huge number of Purity Seals on his shoulder and stuff, and this quite odd looking helmet that I have no idea where it's from. It sort of looks it reminds me a lot of Imperial Stormtroopers from Star Wars, and I really dig it. I wish I knew where this helmet was from. But anyway. Yeah, they're looking good. Good progress. Here's the thing though. I've been considering renaming the chapter. When I was doing one of the painting streams recently, one of the people watching in the chat, who was typing in the chat, mistakenly thought that the name of this chapter was The Sons of Hades, because that's what I titled that hobby vlog I did last. And I sat there and I was like, oh no, they were actually called the Marines Revenant. And then a little while later I thought back to that moment, and I just thought to myself, gosh, you know what, the Sons of Hades sounds much better. Sons of Hades is a much better name for a Space Marine chapter. So now I'm actually considering changing their name to the Sons of Hades. I don't know what you guys think, let me know. My thinking is that I will sort of semi-retcon it. I say semi-retcon it because what I'm thinking is they did used to be called the Marines Revenant. They certainly did used to be called that. Back when they had their old paint scheme, in fact. But then, that was when they were a fleet-bound chapter. You know, back when they were first founded, they were a fleet-bound chapter. They just sailed around on ships. And then they were assigned to guarding the moor, you know, to become a fortress-based chapter as one of the Cerberus warders to guard the entrance to the moor, Warpstorm. And at that point, that's when they settled officially on the planet of Hades. And then a few centuries later, after they'd kind of gone a bit native and recruited a lot of the natives into the chapter, they changed their name to the Sons of Hades. And roughly about that sort of time, as well as when they changed their paint job too, to the current one we have right now. So the process of changing the army up a little bit in terms of their paint job can actually be made as part of their canon, is what I'm thinking, maybe. Like the fact that they were painted differently before, we can pretend that that's actually part of their canon. That was a sort of thing in the lore, in the narrative, for these guys. But nowadays, they are the Sons of Hades. Their paint job is slightly different. And they are no longer a fleet-based chapter. They are a, land-based chapter. They have a home world now, so, which is the world of Hades. That's what I'm thinking, maybe. I don't know. Haven't decided fully yet, but I'll need to put this video up before I do the next battle report featuring these guys, because by then I will need to have figured out what the name of them is by that point. So this might be a bit of a short hobby vlog in that case, because I might end up putting it up straight after this bit. So yeah, if I don't come back to you with the finished product for these guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Or alternatively, I might see you in a few seconds, who knows. But either way, see you in a minute. Well, see you later. Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that probably not going to get any priming done with the rattle cans outside today. Well, luckily, folks, I've got stuff to do that doesn't involve priming models outside. Whew. Definitely feels like January at the moment. Thought it felt a bit chilly when I woke up this morning, and yeah, I was right. So this is something I did last night. I'm still almost finished on the Space Marines. They're nearly done. Nearly done. But last night I just had an idea and I wanted to have a go at it. So these are my Tyranids. I've had these guys for ages. But I've repainted them a bit because I wasn't happy with the old scheme. This is what they used to look like. And it's a decent-ish scheme. You know, it's obviously quite Alien-inspired, as in the movie Alien. Kind of xenomorph kind of scheme going on, some glowy green bits and black carapace all over them and stuff. And it's okay. It's okay. It's kind of old. I could do better these days if I was starting again. But since I've been thinking about these solo battle reports, I was thinking, right, I need more non-Imperium opponents. Maybe I should dig out my old Tyranids and see if they're any good. And I got them out, and I looked at them and I was like, I suppose they're okay. But I could do better. This is the big old Trigon, I think? Or is it a Morlock? Not sure. I think it's a Trigon. It's one of the big snaky dudes that Dan always annoys me with when he plays his Tyranids. I got Tyrannifex over here as well, and an Exocrine as well. I quite like these guys. Boosh. Big monsters. And Old One Eye. There he is. The big Carnifex with only one eye. Rawr. There's something really cool about Tyranids. I just enjoy big monster models, to be honest with you. Even more so than big vehicles and tanks and stuff. Big monsters are fun. It's probably why I'm constantly looking at Age of Sigmar these days, like the dude in that meme with his girlfriend looking at the other girl. Anyway, so I had to think, went through the paints, I was like, how can I improve this a bit? And this is what it came up with. It's kind of very loosely based on the Tyranid artwork from the cover of the 3rd edition codex. If I remember, I will put a picture of it up on the screen so you can see. It's not quite the same, obviously, but it was a way to quickly improve the scheme a little bit. I used some yellow glaze to change the tone of the green, and then painting in the head a different colour was obviously quite easy, as well as doing these bone coloured bits. Thanks to the glorious, the wonders of contrast paint, basically. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with it actually, and it didn't take too long to do. I mean, it took me a while because I was experimenting, but I don't think it would take me long to get the rest of the nids done like this. All I have to do really is apply some yellow glaze to a few bits and repaint the heads. I do like the scheme though. Something very creepy about just the heads being this sort of light grey white with the red streaked across it, and the rest of the body being black. For some reason, I find that incredibly creepy, and I dig it. Nids, I like creepy nids. They should look a bit scary. There's a Tyranid warrior. There you go. So yeah, I reckon I can probably get. I mean, I don't have a huge number of nids, to be honest with you. You know, I've got enough to play a few like 1,000-point games or something like that, but not a huge amount of them. But I reckon I could get them all sorted with this little slightly updated scheme and slightly redone bases as well. In really no time at all. So the next hobby vlog might end up being super Tyranid focused, honestly. Right. It's getting kind of cold in here in the back room now. My fingers are starting to get really cold, so I think we're going to stop now. Oh, wait, no. There is one other thing. Give me a second. It's bonus round time, everybody. And today's bonus round is my old Necromunda gang. I say old, not that old, really, but... Necromunda gang, my Esches, from when the new Necromunda got released. I played a sort of demo game of it in my local Games Workshop store, and I enjoyed it so much. I was like, right, you know what? I shall take one of those start sets. Thank you very much. And this is some of the Escher gang I painted up. The rest I built. I didn't paint up though. These are the ones I did paint. I'm still... Like, my painting skills have generally improved a lot since I painted these guys, but actually, I'm still really pleased with these. They look really good. The general theme for them was basically a gang of Eschers that basically broke into an Imperial Guard Planetary Defense Force armory and robbed the place and made off with lots of guns and bits of gear and stuff. Like that chick, she's wearing a helmet. That one's got a commissar hat on. Who knows how she got that, along with a big sword. Because she already has like this leather jacket thing on her back. It was sort of a perfect fit, really. I believe she's dual-wielding power swords. She's the gang leader, that one. But yeah. This lady, she's got a power sword, a shotgun, and a lasgun. Because I think I was able to make that work with the loadout, custom loadouts, when I was putting the gang together rules-wise. This one's got a chem thrower and a lasgun slung on her back as well. Funny thing about Necromunda is lasguns are actually good in it. Compared to like an auto gun, a lasgun's actually not bad, which is kind of funny. I do like Necromunda, so maybe I should explain. Yeah, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, Necromunda is basically it's a skirmish game that you play with a small gang like this versus an enemy gang, and it takes place on the hive world of Necromunda. And essentially, it's just gang warfare in a hive city, and it's really fun. It's really quite a lot of fun. It's 40k. It's still in the 40k universe, but it's so removed from the usual front lines of crazy monsters and space marines that I really dig it. I really kind of like that behind the front lines aspect of 40k, and I really enjoy Necromunda. I think it's really cool. I won't lie, I've had some vague thoughts about solo Necromunda battle reports on the channel since I know that 40k ones work. I've had some thoughts about Necromunda, and I've had some thoughts about Adeptus Titanicus, actually. I might have to show you them next time. As my next bonus round, actually, my Titans. Yeah, but anyway. So yeah, Necromunda is cool. These are the Eschers, which is an all-female gang. They're all roided up on various chems and stuff. The other gang that came in the box was the Goliaths, which was the big, super chunky dudes. Didn't really care for them though that much. I wasn't really that impressed with them. If I was going to get a couple more gangs, I'd probably I'd get the enforcers, the sort of local police force, because their models are really cool. Get the fuzz to introduce into a few scenarios, and also I quite like the Orlocks, the miners, the mining gang, and I quite like the House Cawdor guys, which are the crazy religious fanatic dudes. I believe there's rules for chaos cults as well in here somewhere. Back in old Necromunda, I'm pretty sure there used to be rules for like Dark Eldar raiders and stuff like that. There might even be rules for Genestealer cultists in the new Necromunda, actually, which is kind of interesting. It's got a lot of books out for it now. I think they've really developed it into a big old thing. But yeah, don't know if that'll ever happen. I'm just idly musing. I found these guys in a box the other day and I looked at them and felt, oh yeah, Necromunda. I forgot I made these guys. Quite pleased with them. But anyway, yeah. Right. There you go, here's a bonus round for the day. So, I think that probably will be the end of this hobby vlog. So I'll catch you next time, everybody. Thanks for watching. And yeah, I'll get those Marines finished. And yeah, I have a sneaking suspicion that the next hobby vlog might have a bit of a Tyranid focus. Quite possibly. We'll see. Anyway, cheers, my dears. I'll see you in the next one.